This is AT. You can see here Rocky Marciano and Muhammad Ali slugging it out. This is a promo for their 1970 clash in Florida. You do remember that, don't you? That Rocky Marciano knocked out Ali, I think it was round 13. Oh, wait a minute. It was Ali winning on cuts. Or could it be 11 other variations on those? There was no bout between Marciano and Ali. They did meet, however, in the ring. It was inside a South Miami studio, and it was filmed. Then it was released to theaters in, I think, January of 1970, seen throughout the U.S., Canada, Europe. The audiences saw different versions, different outcomes. And it was depending on the composition of the various audiences. In Europe, with the exception of Italy, Muhammad Ali won. In the U.S. theaters, varied results, but most American theaters showed Rocky Marciano winning by knockout. Freddie Pacheco, you remember him, the so-called ring doctor? He tells of a reporter who ran up to him, Pacheco, and said he knew that Rocky Marciano had won by, in this case, decision. Freddie Pacheco said, yeah, he did in Miami. You're right. But in Chicago, it was all Ali. The idea of matching Muhammad Ali and Marciano was the idea of Murray Warrener. He was a radio producer who had successfully put together fighters of different eras. John L. Sullivan versus Jimmy Braddock. Jim Jeffries versus Jersey Joe Walcott. He had Joe Louis, facing Jess Willard. Muhammad Ali fighting Max Schmeling. Warrener inserted the predictions of various sports writers and other boxing experts into I think it was an NCR 315 computer. And according to various algorithms, results were printed out in verbal form, and they were read by an announcer who called each fight. Warrener thought that doing the same with Muhammad Ali and Marciano would work, only in this case, he was going to film the fight, and audiences would see 13 different outcomes. Now, both Ali and Rocky were up for this, each anxious to participate. Marciano was 45, out of shape, but he so wanted to get another try, and he wanted the payday, and he was convinced that he would win. Muhammad Ali, banned from boxing because of his refusal to join the military, was strapped for money, and he wanted back as much as Marciano under the spotlight. And he believed he was unbeatable. And he was very unhappy that Warrener had him, Ali, losing in one of the fights that he had for that radio broadcast. So Warrener was able to assemble a group of writers, fight people, ex-fighters, and he was able to compile all of their predicted outcomes and send the data to the NCR computer, which had an algorithm that spat out 13 different results. Rocky, convinced, as I told you, that he could beat Ali in his prime, did train hard to lose 50 pounds of fat. What's that, 22, 23 kilos? And Rocky bought a toupee. He wanted to appear younger. Ali, equally sure he'd cut up The Rock's face, trained under Angelo Dundee. They sparred for about 70 rounds, mainly throwing body punches, but also the occasional headshot. Then all the film was edited according to the various results of the algorithm and sent out. Now, it was not all play acting. Pacheco writes that Ali had been hurt by Rocky's punches, and that he told Marciano, and I'm going from memory here, Rocky, you're supposed to be pulling those body shots, and you aren't doing that. My ribs are hurt. If we're going to have a real fight, I promise that I'm going to pepper you with a bunch of jabs and hooks, and you're not going to like the results. Now, do you want to play movie or do we play boxing? It's your choice, Rocky. Well, according to Pacheco, both fighters did go out for the last 3 rounds. And Rocky found out, again according to Pacheco, that Ali, in fact, could take his body shots. Well, the public and sports writers, as hard as they tried to find out what the results would be, it was all kept secret until the film's release in 1970. And that was when it was shown in 1,500 theaters in the U.S., Canada, and Europe. And as I mentioned before, in the U.S., most people saw Rocky knock out Ali, but in Europe, they saw, with again the exception of Italy, Ali winning on cuts. They saw what appeared to be a genuine fight. An announcer was there calling it, and former champions were there to add commentary. Jimmy Braddock, Joe Louis, Schmeling, Jersey Joe Walcott, old Jack Sharkey was there. The film made big money, and both fighters made out very well. Unfortunately, Rocky Marciano didn't get a chance to spend it because he was dead 3 weeks later. As a result, that was right before his 46th birthday. It was the result of a plane crash in Iowa. Ali, after finding out that he'd lost by knockout in most American theaters, sued Warner, claiming that audiences were misled into thinking the fight was legit. And he alluded, Ali did, that the computer wasn't used, that it was, well, some rather biased people. But he dropped the suit after learning that he'd won throughout most of Europe, and because he was told the prints were going to be destroyed after being shown in theaters. Well, in fact, they were not. They appeared on the ABC Wild World of Sports later in the year. In 1977, I think it was, CBS Late Night showed one of the versions. And in 2005, they were put on DVD. That's the story. Oh, one more thing. Muhammad Ali, after all of this, had nothing but good things to say about his new friend, Rocky Marciano. And that's it. Put in your comments below, subscribe to this channel, share the videos, tap the bell icon. That will tell you when new uploads are available. Thank you.